What if everything you love, your family, your health, your wealth, vanished overnight? Would you still trust in a higher power? Or would your faith collapse? Today, we re-uncovering one of the most mysterious and powerful stories ever told. The story of a man who lost everything, yet found something eternal. This is the story of Job, a man tested by heaven and challenged by hell. In the ancient land of Uz lived a man named Job, respected, wealthy, and deeply faithful. He was known as blameless and upright, a man who feared God and turned away from evil. Job's life was blessed beyond measure. He had 7 sons, 3 daughters, thousands of animals, and countless servants. He was the greatest of all the men in the East. Yet Job's true treasure wasn't his wealth. It was his reverence for God. Every time his children gathered for a feast, Job would rise early to offer sacrifices for them, just in case they had sinned in their hearts. But while Job lived in peace on earth, a conversation was unfolding in the heavens that would change everything. The angels came before the Lord, and among them was the adversary, Satan. The Lord asked, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him, blameless and upright." Satan replied, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Haven't you put a hedge around him and blessed the work of his hands? But stretch out your hand and take away all he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said, "Very well, everything he owns is in your power, but do not lay a finger on the man himself." And so, the test began. In one single devastating day, Job's world collapsed. A messenger came running. The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby when the Sabaeans attacked and carried them off. They killed the servants, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another messenger rushed in. The fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Before he could finish, a third arrived, breathless. The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels. They carried them off and killed your servants. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. And then the most devastating message of all arrived. Your sons and daughters were feasting at their oldest brother's house when a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed, and they are all dead. Job fell to the ground in silence. His world was gone, his heart shattered. But through tears and pain, he whispered, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin or charge God with wrongdoing. But the test wasn't over. Once again, the heavenly court assembled. God said, "Have you considered my servant Job? He still maintains his integrity, even though you incited me against him without any reason." Satan replied, "Skin for skin. A man will give all he has for his own life. But stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said, "Very well, he is in your hands, but you must spare his life." So Satan struck Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Job sat among the ashes, scraping his raw skin with a piece of broken pottery. His wife, crushed by grief, said to him, "Are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Even then, Job did not sin with his lips. 3 of his friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they barely recognized him. They wept aloud, tore their robes, and sprinkled dust on their heads. For 7 days and 7 nights, they sat on the ground with him in silence, because they saw that his suffering was too great for words. Then Job spoke. He cursed the day of his birth. "May the day of my birth perish," he cried. "Why did I not die at birth? Why is life given to those in misery, and light to the bitter of soul? His friends could no longer remain silent. They believed his suffering must have a cause. Eliphaz spoke first. Think now, who being innocent has ever perished? Those who plow evil and sow trouble reap it. Surely God is just. Confess your sin, and you will be restored. Job in anguish replied, Teach me, and I will be silent. Show me where I have been wrong, but I have done nothing to deserve this. God's arrows are in me, and my spirit drinks their poison. My suffering is without cause. Bildad spoke next, insisting, Does God pervert justice? If your children sinned against him, he gave them what they deserved. But if you are pure, surely he will restore you. Zophar was even harsher. You deserve worse than what you're getting. If you put away the sin in your hand, then your life will shine again. Their words pierced deeper than his sores. Job defended himself again and again. I am blameless. Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him. I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand on the earth. As the debates raged on, a young man named Elihu, who had remained silent out of respect for his elders, finally spoke up. His eyes burned with passion. I am full of words, he said, and the spirit within me compels me to speak. God speaks in many ways, through dreams, through pain, through correction. He does not despise anyone, but he disciplines those he loves. Job, you have justified yourself rather than God. Then, as thunder rolled across the sky, a whirlwind formed, and out of the storm came the voice of God himself. Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place? Can you bind the beautiful Pleiades? Can you loose the cords of Orion? Can you send lightning bolts on their way? The voice of God thundered with questions that shattered Job's understanding. God revealed the vastness of creation, the mysteries of the sea, the birth of the mountain goat, the untamable power of the behemoth and the leviathan, all symbols of a power far beyond human grasp. Job trembled before him. I am unworthy. How can I reply to you? I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes. Then the Lord rebuked Job's friends, saying, You have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. Now take 7 bulls and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job. Offer a burnt offering for yourselves, and my servant Job will pray for you. And when Job prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. His brothers and sisters came to comfort him, bringing him gifts of silver and gold. The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the first. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 donkeys. He also had 7 more sons and 3 daughters, who were known as the most beautiful women in all the land. Job lived for another 140 years, and he saw his children and their children for 4 generations. Then he died, old and full of days. But the true reward of Job's life wasn't his restored wealth. It was revelation. He discovered that faith isn't built on comfort, but on trust, even when every reason to trust has vanished. So the next time your world shakes, when you can't understand what is happening, remember Job. His story isn't about how much he lost, it's about how much he found. Because even when you can't see the hand of God, you can trust his heart. If this story touched you, share your thoughts in the comments. What has Job's journey taught you about faith and endurance? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more extraordinary stories from the Bible. Thank you for watching.